bada boom. There we go. We are ready to go. Yes, we are. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-da. Let's go live. Boom, 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 boom. That's not loading. That's freaking great. Just wonderful. Yo, Lee, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? The card, not surprised, was awesome. I'll say it again. Shocker. Vallejos did it? Yep. Yep. And I'll tell you what, I'm honestly a little bit more impressed with him after that fight. I went 10 and 12. Oh, 10 and 2 on picks. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I went 8 and 4, and I thought Souza won. Are you feeling stable tonight? I don't even know what that means. Don't even know what that means. Did a parlay with Bashi and Tachiro, both by sub. Let's go. Yeah, I thought Souza won. Thought it was 2-1 Souza. Why am I forgetting the rest of them now? Yeah, Taira looked incredible. I do think Park's going to be good, though. I really do. We are live. Can't wait for Tachiro versus Van Flyweight title fight. That'd be awesome. I would rather see Pantoja Taira. I think Park makes that fight really difficult. But it's still going to be good, for sure. For sure. Just passed 4,200 subs. I appreciate you guys. Let's go Ribavix and Nazim Sadikov. That fight would be fight of the year candidate. Because we know how Ribavix is going to fight. Honestly, got to be honest, I think Ribavix wins that fight. Because if Nicholas Mota can hurt Nazim, so can Ribavix. Let's do Park versus Andre Lima. Ooh, let's do Park versus you know what? Yeah, I agree. I like that fight. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes 2 prediction. I think Usman does better this time, but I think it'll still be a decision. 11:57 for you right now. It is 12:57 for me. Let's do Rebecca versus Moda. Ooh, okay. I think Rebecca smashes Moda because of his wrestling. I think he tires him out. Early, it'll be tough, but that was a fucking war, dude. 2 back-to-back fight of the nights. Let's do Brenner versus McKinney. Oh, I love that fight. Oh, my goodness. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, wait. Share this to fucking X. Twitter. You look like a chill guy. Appreciate you. We're just talking about UFC. Talking about MMA. That's what we do around here. We're just having fun. You got questions? Throw your questions out. Super chats are always appreciated, but we're here to have some fun. Let's do Chris Duncan versus Drew Dober. I love that fight. Are you disappointed that UFC is trying to mix UFC, BJJ, and MMA together? No. I think the belt looks like absolute dog shit. But, yeah, I don't know. He doesn't hurt. I mean, let's do Randy Brown versus Neil Magny. I like that fight. It's crazy, too, because I thought Zaleski clearly was winning. I thought the referee stopped the fight a little bit early. It seemed like he was looking to stop it as soon as Neil started hitting him. But I don't know if Zaleski was getting out. The reason I think it's a little early is because there's 23 seconds when he stops it. Just maybe see how that plays out a little bit. Let Jacoby Smith shadow Zaleski dos Santos. I don't think Jacoby Smith would shadow Zaleski. I don't think so. He might win, but he also had a hard fight with Nico Price. And I think Zaleski would smash Nico. Let Kevin Vallejos shatter Calvin Kattar. Oh, I'd love that. I think Calvin Kattar should retire. He's nothing. Nothingness. I never thought that guy was all that good anyways. Danny Silva versus Chepe Mariscal. Book it. I think Chepe's grappling style might make that fight a little bit difficult. Let me think. How about Ricardo Ramos versus Danny Silva? Let's do that. Does anyone know what substance Tiramov tested positive for? No, but it was a bad substance. Not like an illegal one. I'm saying it was an aggressive one. Can't wait for Jey Uso to get revenge. Pretty brutal for Jimmy Uso. I don't really know. I don't have no idea. Hi, my name is Levi. Sup? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeet. Give Renier a shot at the ranking. Nakamura versus Rob Font. Interesting. I think to finish a guy like Nathan, that says quite a bit. It was a great kick, too. Great placement. I'm trying to think. Who could he fight in that division? I would say give him the winner of Loner, Charles Johnson. Goosebumps? With what? Rodolfo Vieira versus Bruno Vieira? Ooh, I don't know about that fight. Let's do... Yeah, I agree. You think Johnny Walker can win if he wrestles right away? No. Guys, hey, Uso haven't been so Usi. Okay. Shawn Michaels? Sure. Let Mansour Abdul, Malik Shadow Puliev. Interesting. Okay. People are like, see, you lost. He was losing until Klein got tired. Congratulations. Congrats. Let's do Bashi versus Dan Nige. Ooh, I like that fight. I'd like to see him against somebody like... Trying to think. Let's do him versus Darren Elkins. I think they're in the same weight class. Oh, I thought your shirt was Goosebumps. It is Goosebumps. It must be tough being Johnny Walker's wife watching him fight. Maybe. Like your cat picture? Appreciate you. I show Speed versus Ben would be funny. Yikes. Rafael Esteban versus Alex Perez. I like that a lot. It's a good fight. I think if Esteban can get his weight in check, I think he could be a huge problem for that division. He already has a win against Charles Johnson. Pretty dominant win, too, at that. So, I like that. LA Knight versus Roman Reigns would be good. We're not talking about WWE. And I'm not a fan of Roman. So, not a fan of his whole shtick. Do you rip parlays? What do you mean? I do parlays, yes. Let's do RDR versus Izzy. Oh, God. I don't want to see. I think RDR smashes him. I think he submits him. Izzy might be able to have moments, especially if he can get those kicks going. But I don't like that fight for Izzy. Who do you got in Marab versus Jan, too? Marab. I don't know. I think Jan might be able to make that fight a little bit more competitive, but I don't think the result changes. Oh, well, what the heck are we talking about? UFC. What's up, Mason? Izzy should just do a super fights only. Fair. Who do you got in Sheriff versus Kopylov? Kopylov. And Gary? I ain't going to Gary, buddy. But at some point, we'll definitely do something. Costa smashed him? Yes, he did. Who you got in a suit? Alan Bayoff versus Park? Ooh. His grappling's really good. I probably would have to go... I'm going to go Park. Gary sucks. Yeah, let's do Randy Orton versus John. We're not talking about WWE, though. Costa sucks. Won his last fight in dominant fashion. He looked really good in his last one. Who do you got in Guskov versus Jan? Probably Jan. But I want Guskov. Jose Acho versus Andre Lima. Andre Lima, baby. Pico Lerone, break it down. Lerone with a lot of good pressure, switches stances. Pico lands a big shot. But Lerone might be able to point his way to a decision. Esteban is a savage. Yep, must see TV every time he fights. Must see TV every time he fights. Every time. Wellmaker with Shadow Bryce. Please, please. Shut that dude up. Who do I have the Muslim? Wonder Boy? Wonder Boy. Did Johnny Eblin get fraud checked? No. He was dominating the fight until the last moment. I will say I did not like his response in the Hawani, the interview he did like a couple days later or whatever. I think with Ariel Hawani. I just thought him being like, oh, if you were losing the whole fight and you ended up catching the guy with 10 seconds left, how good as a man could you be like, that was a good win? It's just like, you were winning, but that's not the response I'd have. Like, I want to get that back. Would Carlos Leal get a bounce back win versus Gabriel Bonfim? Yes. David Grant versus Rinya? Ooh. No. Ooh, Dumont Blackshear, Rinya. That one right there. Who would you have in Van versus Tetsu? Van. Good combinations, a lot of output, and he hits hard. Evelyn said he was driving from Florida to Washington State after the fight. Lotus hours after. Hours driving? Yeah, right? What the fuck? Rinya would dominate Blackshear. I think on the ground would be fun. As grappling, it'd be fun. I want to see that. Dana cheats on his wife. Okay. Who would you have versus Umar? Umar versus Petr Yan. Well, the urgency and I think the physicality, I would have Yan. Chase, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? It's a little bit late. I'm sorry. Sorry. What's your official pick for Gene versus Diego? Ooh, man. The one problem I'm having right now with Gene is he's not proven on the ground. And Diego, because he went 5 rounds with decent cardio and had a lot of output, I think I'm kind of leaning towards Lopez. But Gene has big power. I'm leaning towards Lopez, unfortunately. Oh, no, you're all good. I don't know why YouTube is not sending me notifications. It's really getting on my nerves. What you can do is unsubscribe, resubscribe, and that notification bell, click off and click it back on. 1 to 100%, what chance would you give Patty to beat Ilya? I mean, I would give him, I'd probably say 70-30, 30 Patty. Cindy Sweeney has great genes. Okay. Who would you bounce Ian Gary? Wait, who would you book Ian Gary versus next? Either Leon or the winner. No, you can't do that, damn it. Yeah, probably Leon. Yeah, that should reset it, Chase. It should. I think Ateba would slump Strickland tomorrow. Oh, I hope so. That'd be great. What's up, George? What's up, buddy? If you guys can, please slap that like button. It tells YouTube to get the stream moving to other people. Appreciate you. No, Leon is Morales' next victim, different opponent. Usman. Bitsy, what's up, Bitsy? How you doing, man? Can we send Leon Edwards to the PFL? The boring fighter ever and a cheater. I'm good with that. UFC should build a PI in Cameroon. I think they have a PI in a bunch of places. I think it's hard to do that there, though. I don't know if they have the infrastructure to do that. But I think they should build one everywhere. Azul, what's up? Oro, what's up? Does Poatan hit him with the left hook, high kick, cook his calf? Woo. What do you see the fight winning shot being? Leg kicks to start it, and I think the left hook. I think the left hook. Because you got to think, though, the person that can make more changes and build off his performance is Pereira. What more can Ankalaev really do? Really. Pereira doesn't really have to worry necessarily about the takedown. He also, the reason why he was also caught in that, I think, third round at the end of the fight, end of that round, was he's waiting for the takedown, boom, he gets caught. It was a good feint by Ankalaev. I think more activity from Alex, he would smash Ankalaev. Unsubscribing doesn't work. YouTube sends notifications for all accounts, and it's so annoying sometimes. Damn. You really think Cyril is going to make it out of the first? Yes. Cyril. That's crazy. Who should Peyton Tyler next matchup? He just fought Lima. I like him to fight Adrian Yanez, but I think he has a fight already. Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Gene Matsumoto just fought Rob Font. You probably can't do that. Ricky Simone? Can't really do that. The only person I can really think of right now is Simone. Damn. I gotta go Simone. It's the only guy I can think of right now. Who would you have in Wellmaker Talbot? Early, probably Wellmaker, because the one-punch power and Talbot does get hit. But I'm more inclined to pick Talbot because he's more well-rounded, and we've seen a little bit more from Talbot. We don't really know what Wellmaker can do past power-wise and good striking. I guarantee Gene slumps Diego. Okay. You think Joshua Van has a shot at the title or no? Of course he has a shot. He has good combinations, good power, good pressure, but I don't think he beats Pantoja. Grappling is going to be too much, I think. Yanez does not have a fight booked. He's scared of Peyton. Okay, well then Yanez. For sure, Yanez. That's the fight to make. If there's one guy who could hold the belt for years at welterweight, who's your pick? Ooh, at 170. For years. Potential Michael Morales. But if he got the title tomorrow, I would say Shavkat. If Shavkat won the belt tomorrow, I think he would have the belt for a long time. Until Michael Morales is ready. I don't think he's ready today. Yeah, Pantoja's crazy. Yeah. Oh, that card this weekend was low-key a nice one, deserved a crowd. 100%. The two back-to-back fights were incredible. Who would you have in RDR versus both Imavov and Borrello? I think Imavov is a harder fight than Borrello, just because of the good movement and the big power in his movement, or because of his movement. But both of them, I think RDR wins. Does Johnson Amanda submit Volkov? Yes. Who do you have in Khalil? Yuri or Khalil? Khalil. Hamzat Borishev as champion in 2 weeks' time. Also hyped for 320 already. DDP smashing him, sorry. Do you think DJ knew there was someone outside the UFC who would KO him when he left? Obviously not. Obviously not. Rebecca has to learn how to block punches with something else than his face. I agree. He keeps taking a lot of punishment. Yep. I agree. Asa Kerr is gonna style on Tim Elliott. It sucks. I like Tim Elliott. Do you think Mobzar will become champion? Yes, if Volkanovski's not champ. My brother, Magomed going to bed. Yes, DDP by butchering. Yep. You think Alex wins the rematch with Ink? Yes, I do. Bro, my notification's going crazy right now. Oh, okay. Delidze or Hernandez? Hernandez. So I'm getting a new vehicle. In your opinion, what do you think I should get, a truck or a Jeep? Truck all day, buddy. Hamzat gonna show levels. The Ritter made his win over Bobby Knuckles age well. 100%. And no. If Hamzat wins, it's early. If he doesn't, no. Also, Hamzat submitted him quickly, but DDP beat him up, broke him. You better hope Hamzat finishes him early. Magomed out cold. Let's go. You think DDP TKO's Hamzat? I think he smashes him. Yes. DDP smashes. Yep. Protest by KO. Yes. I bet my boy 100 on Wallmaker versus Tapoya's brother, as you should. Shama. Yep. I think it's Gene round 1 KO. I do not. Because Diego punches really hard early. Honestly, I think Gene's going to grapple early. Chevy or Dodge truck. Probably not the person to do that. I probably would say Dodge. Whitaker jaw broke less than 3 minutes. Again, if Hamzat's going to win, it will be early. That's what I've been saying. Wallmaker Garbrandt. I love that. Please shadow Garbrandt. Could we see the Caucasian fighter claim all belts soon? Marab, Ilya, Islam, Hamzat, and Inc. Possibly. Who would you have in Armin versus Max? I don't know how Armin does or Max does with Armin's grappling. Stand up, I have no doubt Max beats him up, but yeah. Esteban versus McKinney 2? No. No. DDP killed Whitaker. He smashed him. How much do you recommend I slam on Morales versus Leon? A lot. I don't know because that's such a weird one. But I would definitely think Morales wins. Max is in his prime right now. I definitely disagree. He's 33. He'll be 34. He is not in his prime. No. Whitaker taking too much? Yeah. Do you think Piper shadows Abu? No. I think the long lankiness of Abu is gonna make that difficult. Taporia Justin. Taporia slumps Justin. What do you think? What do you think has been fighting of this year so far? Oh, fight of the year this so far? Ooh. I probably would say, oh, what's the fight? Why am I forgetting it? It's either up to the, why am I forgetting the fight? Oh, it's probably Esteban, or it's probably Ribovics, Brenner, Rebecca, Duncan, or Nazim, and I probably would say Ribovics. Esteban shadows Bobby Knuckles tomorrow. Yikes. He just beat Dustin and Justin. He did, but that doesn't mean he's in his prime. I still think it's been Van and Royval, but missed last weekend's fights. You missed last weekend's fights. Oh my goodness, you gotta go see some of them. Duncan, Rebecca fight you gotta watch, and Esteban and Brenner you gotta watch. Howland versus D-Rod, fight of the year, not even close. Good fight, but no. Olberg beats Reyes, I don't think so. Yeah, JDM versus Islam is the UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden on November 8th. Interesting, we'll see. Yeah, I missed the card, sadly, was so upset. Well, you can go back and watch it, it's good. Reyes will knock out Olberg, or outclass him to a decision. Fair. What's your fight you're most looking forward to? Ooh. Fight I'm looking forward to the most has to be probably Hamzat and DDP. Because it's such a big fight, so much potential. Yeah, it probably is that. The fight I'm looking forward to the least is Marab Corey. You heard it was a fight of the year contender. I need to watch him. Yeah. It was incredible. Are you rooting for Salsa Boy to beat Pavlich? Of course I am. Who would you have in the Asakura versus Asu? Reyes with Surgeon will be like a Rocky story. Yes, but he'll never be champion. He'll never beat Pereira or Ankalaev. He has more of a chance with Ankalaev. What made Khanat so special? Just, for one, I think his ability to consistently have a ridiculous amount of output, creative combinations, and somehow still have some power with his combinations. Who would you have, Vallejos versus Josh Emmett? Well, Vallejos did get touched a little bit against Silva. Nothing crazy or anything like that. I just don't know how much you can get touched by Josh Emmett. But he is 40 years old. So probably Vallejos, but I would just say inside the distance. I've got DDP winning probably by stoppage in the third. Let's go, buddy. Who would you have in Ruffy versus Dariush? Well, probably Ruffy, but I would want Dariush. Reyes definitely has a chance beating Ink. Correct. Who would you have in Gary versus JDM? JDM. Who would you have in Bruno Vieira versus Eteba? Eteba. But again, we don't really know what his grappling's like, so maybe Vieira. Will Hamzat pull out last minute? God, I hope not. That would suck. Does anyone know if this is Jesus, Tristan? Yeah. Who would you have in Zhang Ming versus Poatan? Poatan. 100% Poatan. That's crazy. Ruffy KO, Benoit, yeah. Who would you have in Robulus versus Tybora? Robulus. Despain versus... We'd flatline Tybora. Flatline. Who would you have in Andre Lima versus Park? Park. DDP gets taken down by Derek Brunson and Whitaker, and y'all believe he is beating Hamzat? Yes. 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 Yes, I do. You see what he did to Brunson? Yes, I do. See what he did to Whitaker? Yes, I do. Who would you have in Umar versus Marab 2? Umar. Who would you have in Gene versus Volk? I think Volk wins that. Hamza being training is boxing with Taporia. It will be interesting to see how they choose to push the pace. Hamza might wait to shoot for the kill. Nope, he won't wait. He will not wait. Who would you have in Patty versus Gaethje? Patty. Yep, smashes them. I feel like if Morikano would have met forward and actually throw punches and not try to initiate the takedown, he would have knocked him out. The dude has no chin and very slow. That's fair. Who would you have in Sean Brady versus Morales? Morales. But again, we don't know about his grappling, so I don't know. Who would you have in Prime? You have Prime GSP or Khabib? GSP. I've always said that. Who do you have in Canelo? Terrence Crawford? Crawford. Who would you have in Fluffy versus BA? Brandon Allen? Oh, Fluffy. Who would you have in Omar Sy versus Navajo Sterling? Sterling. Omar Sy's looked like shit. Shit in his last two fights. Patty's getting KO one day. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely, yes. Absolutely. He can't get away with that forever. And it might come from Taporia. It might. Who would you have in Jalton Almeida versus Aspinall? We don't know much about Aspinall's ground game, despite anyone saying defensively about his ground game. Probably Aspinall because of the striking, but Almeida might be able to get takedowns. It can make it weird because Almeida's not a great, he doesn't have a great takedown shot, but in close, he does well with getting his takedowns against the cage. He does well, but in the open, he doesn't have a great takedown shot. It's probably Aspinall. Everyone will get knocked out one day. Yeah, that's fair. Who would you have in Joshua Van versus Moreno? Van. Who's your number one pound for pound? Jones. Leaves his chin open in the lightweight division is diabolical. Correct. 100%. Who would you have in Sandhagen? Wellmaker. Marcano? Yuck. Who would you have in Lerone Murphy versus Ivalov? Probably Murphy. If he would have went forward and not initiated in the grappling through punches, he would have knocked him out. He has no chin and slow. I mean, he has a little bit of power, does Marcano, but where Marcano is good is the grappling. You're saying if Marcano did that? I mean, I think he tried to do that. He missed quite a bit of punches, but Neil did well in the open. The problem was against the cage when he overextended. That's when he got hurt. Who would you have, Prime Mike Tyson or Prime Muhammad Ali? Ali, R.I.P. buddy. Who would you have in Max versus Ilya 2? I think Max probably has the best chance to beat Ilya. It was 1-1 going in the third round. And he outstruck him in that fight, which is crazy to think about, but he did. Probably Topuria because he does have that big power. But 55 Mac tends to seem a little bit different. But Dustin also did drop him as well. It's probably Topuria. I feel like Patty can beat Justin if Patty keeps his face open. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out. Yeah, but Justin, yeah, I think Patty wins that. But RDR versus Hamza, well, it depends. Can RDR survive the early onslaught? I don't know. If he can, then RDR. Dariush could have cracked Marcano like he did Gamrot. Would have been cinema. Oh, that would have been sick. I would have been going out of my seat. Yes, if he did that, yeah. Who'd you have in Mirzakhanov versus Rezhov? Probably Rezabayev. I'm a little worried in that one. Fuck Rakic. Fuck Rakic. Terrence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao. Who do you have in their prime? Manny. Oops. Who would you have in prime Nate? Prime Nate or prime Nick? Prime Nick. Patty could beat Topuria. Anything is possible in MMA. That's fair. Who would you have in Jalton versus Gan? Jalton. Benny fucked Marcano up. Yes, he did. Can Yuri come back and become the champion again? No, and I hope he doesn't because Poatan finishes them every time. Ilya has nuke in his hands. Yes, he does. What's up, Colostrum? Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury? Joshua. Oh, Tyson Fury. My bad. Fury. Benny versus Gamrot 2. Benny still wins. I want to see Armin versus Patty so bad. Me too. Predict what belts will be contended at the White House card. Heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, and welterweight. Who would you have in Manel Cop? And Van. Patty submits Justin. I'm here for that. Who would you have in Talbot versus Bryce? Talbot. Who would you have in Gene versus Ilya? Ilya. Are you going to go live for the Terrence Crawford fight, and how do you think the fight goes? I think Crawford's power is going to be the difference in that fight, and I think Terrence does well in the first 4 to 5 rounds. Crawford comes back in the middle rounds. Probably Crawford does well in the first 4. Canelo comes back in the next 4, and then we're going to have unbelievable last couple of rounds. And I don't know if I'm going to be live for that card. I want to be, though. It's so expensive, though. Tom or Gan. Tom, but I think Gan's going to be harder than people think. I was so happy for Dariush, but, like, what do we do with him? His chin is gone, sadly. I agree. I don't know. I love Benny, though. Name someone not ranked top 5 that will be champion by the end of 2026. Ooh. By the end of 2026. Not ranked. I'm going to say Zhang. Do you think Justin actually deserves the title shot? Not a chance. Tetsuya would beat Cop? I don't think so. We can talk about Cop's bad grappling, the power that Cop has. You've seen what Royval did to Tetsuya. Cop is explosive and has crazy power. I respect your opinions, dog. You know your shit. Subbed. Appreciate you, Aaron. If BJ was a dog, yes, he was. Crawford will KO Canelo. That'd be sick. I love Canelo, though. I'm not saying I don't. We need Tetsuya versus Cop. We need Pantoja versus Tetsuya. Will you be live for the contenders? Dude, I want to be, but I will be at work. But I will when I get home, when I do my live. We will do a live watch along. I can't do it when it's on, but we will still go through it and do it. How much is it? Canelo Crawford? Canelo Crawford. It's hold on a second. Canelo Crawford. Weights, they're fighting at 163. Pay-per-view. Price. It is pay-per-view. Will not be a pay-per-view. It will be streamed live on Netflix at no additional charge for subscribers. I'll be watching it then. I will be live. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, that's sick. Oh, that is so sick. Oh, man. Let's go. Sorry about that. Gon, I think, can take time out in the first. That's crazy, but that would be cool. Benny robbed MJ. Yes, he did. Philly versus Rodriguez. Who do I have? Rodriguez. Grappling's really, really good. Pressure, the pace that he puts on guys, I really, really like. Cop would smash him. Yes, he would. 100. What do you give Tom chance of beating Bones? I would give him a 20 because he always has a time when they're standing to catch him because he's the big, fast heavyweight. So does everybody else because they're big, fast heavyweight. But I don't think it's likely. Bones retired suddenly when Tom was next in the line, so we'll never know. We will. Favorite picks for the next card? Ooh, well, Hernandez. Hernandez. Um, Locks, Gene Matsumoto, CLD. Let's see. Euros Medic. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go Elijah Smith, CLD, and Anthony Smith. Yeah. If he wins, though, I want to see him retire. Let's go, Crawford. Let's go, man. Yo, it's 1-1 for you already. I'm going to pull an all-nighter tonight. Yeah, it's 1:31 here for me. Appreciate you, though. God dang it. What the fuck is this? Okay. Let's go, Crawford. If he wins, I want to see him retire. Yeah, me too. Yo, would you let me go live on your channel for contenders then? No. When Tony gonna fight? I hope never. But he's fighting Salt Poppy. You'd have to bet Jones as the underdog if the fight goes down. Oh, 100%. 100%. You're the king of Midwest MMA media. Keep it up. Appreciate you. What's up, dude? Elijah Smith. Yes, confidence pick this week. Elijah Smith and who was the other one I said? CLD. 231 here. Whoo! Tony getting KO'd by Salt Poppy. Yeah. CTE run continues. Yes, it does. Unfortunately. I'm thinking a 20 ball on CLD. Gosh. I like Eric Anders. I think he's awesome. But yeah. Who the fuck is Salt Poppy? Yeah, that's exactly what you should be asking. And he's going to get flatlined by him. Yeah. Again, this is a good card, too. Besides the two girl fights to start the card off, Gilbert Urbina, Euros Medic. Medic has a big chance to finish him, but he's not looked great as of late. Gosh, Kazama's so bad. I like Elijah Smith, though, in this matchup. Julius Walker, I think wins. Yeah. Would you risk $1 billion or death on Morales or versus Tony tomorrow? I would risk $1 billion. For absolutely. Morales would do vicious things to him. Was it disappointing for you when Tony got flatlined by Chandler as Tony was former interim champion? Of course it was, especially because before that, he was competitive with most. I mean, he dropped Chandler multiple times in that first round. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then he gets KO'd. It sucked. But you die if Tony wins. I don't think Tony wins that. Tony gets knocked out, then debuts in Power Slap. Oh, God. Billion if Morales wins. Oh, billion on Morales, yeah. Yeah, Tony's not winning that. Prime Tony would. Seeing Tony and YouTube boxing fight is sad. Yeah. What's your main fight that casually BJ BJCTE in your opinion? Oh, main fight. Probably the Nick Diaz. Nick beat the shit out of him. Pity patted him. Salt Poppy would last a round with Prime Tony. Correct. CTE Menace. Yep. Ilya versus Armin prediction. Armin's strike defense is awful. Who would win Tony versus Cowboy tomorrow? Cowboy. Anybody beats this version of Tony. They come at 9 o'clock in the morning to stall my cameras. Is insane how much it is. Oh, I bet it is. Oh, I bet it is. Jesus. Who is Volk fighting next? I hope not Yair, but probably Yair. What's up, Matthew? Hope you're doing well. Name one decent fighter Cowboy could come back and beat. Well, I would assume he's going to come back to 170. Let's see. Oh, wait. Actually, we might be able to look here. 170. Right here. Fuck. Yo, Jesus, he's 57. Okay, so it's gonna be a big fight. I would think, but somebody he could beat right now. D-Rod. I do think he could beat D-Rod. Trey Waters, he could beat Jonathan McAuliffe. I think he could beat McAuliffe, would beat Kevin Johnson. Max Griffin, I think he could beat Carlston Harris, I think he could beat. Yeah, I think he would beat D-Rod. I think he'd beat Colby Covington, who's ranked 12 right now. How is Wonderboy behind Gabriel Bonfim? Gabriel did not win that fight. Colby versus Usman. Ooh. Just for 9 cameras. They told Tony to shadow box from boxing promo. He started throwing elbows. Oh my gosh. Yair versus Volk 2 would be stupid. I agree. Should him, Miller, be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. He also could come back and fight Jim because they're 1-1. Drysis or Hamzat? Drysis. Jim Miller. Hopefully Volk fights Mobzar and fucks him up. That'd be great. Cowboy Colby? Love it. I think Volk fights Mobzar, especially after Mobzar Pico was canceled. I agree, and I hope so. Tony is going to get knocked out. 100%. Imagine Ilya Tony. Now, Prime Tony... I like Prime Tony in that fight. I gotta be honest. Prime Tony was a boogeyman. Jesus. Yeah, right, I don't care. Remember when Tony had the crazy spell at his place in Cali? I thought police had to get him right back then. Oof. Just do Yair versus Arnold Allen. I like that. Or Yair versus Giga. Could do that as well. Ilya gonna baptize Patty if UFC gives him a title shot, correct? No, bro. Ilya would shadow Prime Tony bad. No, he wouldn't. Nobody could hurt Tony back then or finish Tony back then. Tony versus CM Punk. Oh boy, I think Tony could win that fight. Sitting on my couch in Cali, it's 53 out. Jesus. But we all know that Khabib smashed him. I don't think so. I think Prime Tony would have done really good work with his elbows from the bottom on Khabib. If Dustin Poirier can almost finish him with the guillotine, Tony Ferguson could do as good or better. Prime Tony can beat Khabib for me. Me too. I would have liked to see Prime Tony versus Islam. Oh, yeah. No one was as good as Ilya. Tony was in his prime. Unpopular opinion, but Ilya finishes Islam in 2 rounds. I could see it. He has power. He's accurate, so I could see it. Elbows on bottom. Yeah, hurt Kevin Lee. Yep. Tony the type of guy to win 12 in a row just so he could lose 12 in a row. Correct. Just to win 12 in a row. Who would you have in Matt? Again, Prime Tony. Nobody was beating. So Tony. With controversy, of course. Of course. It wouldn't be easy. Never was for Tony. You would have been a top flyweight bro if you kept going. I don't know about flyweight, but if you could have one snack right now, what is it? One snack. I'm a big Reese Sticks guy in the freezer. Connor, Tony in their primes. Tony. I mean, you might be able to hurt him, but you're not going to finish him. Connor gets tired. Tony. Prime Dustin is better than Taporia. I don't know if he's better because he's won titles, not interims, titles. Who do you think headlines the White House card if it ever happens? Jones, Aspinall. Connor. You think Tony could have beaten BJ Penn back in Tony's prime? Yes. Nobody was beating him. People were hurting him, but remember Lando Tony? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Prime, yeah. Hamza loses by flying TKO in the third. I'm here for it. Name one fighter on the roster that beats Tom. That beats Tom. Well, I think three people that have a chance: Gan, Almeida, and Poatan. Aspinall fucks up Jones all day unless it goes past 2 rounds. Okay, unless it goes to the ground. It doesn't even have to go rounds, unless it goes to the ground. Because I think one beating on the ground from John to Tom's different in those next rounds. In your opinion, do you think White House is happening because Americans are missing something from MMA right now? It's happening. They're making the infrastructure right now. No one beats them, maybe Pereira. Fair. Remember that Tony done to Cowboy? That fight was sad to watch. Yes, it was. And then he hit him after the bell. That sucked. And that was Tony. I mean, that was Cowboy at like a week's notice or some shit. Crazy. Yo, JDM, Islam. Islam and Jones are the only people in the world that could give Ilya and Tom a tough fight. Correct. 2. Lando Goat. he was fun, for sure. Only competitive heavyweight fights to put up are Ngannou, Aspinall, or Jones, Aspinall. 100%. But I do think Gan's going to do better than people think. Know why it's happening, like the reason. I don't know. It's definitely going to happen because they want it to happen and Trump wants it to happen. Tony destroyed Cowboy's face? Yes, he did. Do you think the White House card happens? Yes, I do. Pereira gets chinned badly at the heavyweight? Maybe. I'm going to bed. Have a good night. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Yo, you'll see me tomorrow. I appreciate you, man. Name one random unranked fighter that you think has a ton of potential. Ooh. Unranked. Okay. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me look. Let's look at Bantam. Probably none of these guys. I think Talbot has a shitloads of potential. I guess let's look at 85. 85 division's weird because there's not a ton of talent outside of the 15. Let's look. Bokayev could, but we need to see a little bit more. Definitely not Cesar Almeida, that's for damn sure. I'm trying to think. Etiba, of course, has shitloads of potential. Marco Tulio has potential. Gan's too technical to get slept in a minute. Correct. I could see late round sub or round 2 sub, though. Fair. Cowboy's face made it look like Tony had bricks in his gloves. Correct. I seriously don't know if Gan lasts a single minute that fight. You're going to see. Is there another country government that loves the sport or MMA more than America? Brazil. Oh, Japan, Korea, Asia. If the White House card happens, you know it's going to be Trump getting glazed on some Kim Jong on level, maybe. Whitehouse could have also been basketball. Could have also been basketball for sure. Not a ton of talent outside the top 15. That's crazy talk. Shara, no. RoboCop, no. Ateva, of course. Joe Piper, no. Tulio, yes, I named him. Fiera, no. CLD, he's a little too inactive. We've seen kind of it. Abdul, Tulio, Ateba, Talbot. RoboCop, there's not that much of potential. We've seen it. We've seen it. Shara, we've seen it. We've seen it. He's not going to be a top 10 guy. Joe Piper is not going to be a top 10 guy. Fiera is not going to be a top 10 guy. CLD, I don't know if he's going to be a top 10 guy. Abdul has potential too. Tulio has the potential too. Ateba has the potential too. Peyton Talbot has the potential. Wellmaker has the potential, but he needs to hurry up. Who's one unranked fighter on the roster you think could pick up a top 5 win tomorrow? Ooh. Ooh. Top 5 win tomorrow for like a short notice performance. Goodness. Either Talbot or Wellmaker. I don't know if Ateba could step up to the top 5 and win. So he fights in the middleweight. Let's see. Top 5. Probably Ateba, because I think he beats Strickland, and I think he beats. I don't know if he beats Izzy. I gotta be honest. Probably does, because yeah, probably does. So yeah, Ateba. Shara, Bullet, Goat. Do Shara, Adesanya. Adesanya wins that fight. Piper got dog, yeah. Aspinall versus Poetan, Topuria, Makachev, Pantoja, Marab. I love it. Turlio smashed Gore. Yes, he did. Whitehouse. Islam Usman. Very fun fight. Islam. Book it. I agree. I agree. Interesting. Who'd you have in Fan versus Cop? Cop. Because Van has a lot of pressure, a lot of output, some power. Cop is explosive, faster, and has bigger power. Cop. And Van gets hit. Who'd you have in Wellmaker, Song De Jong? Wellmaker. Wellmaker. That's an easy pick. Who'd you have in Vallejos versus Pico? Well, Silva had good, probably Vallejos, because I don't know if I trust Pico's chin. I haven't seen it in the UFC. I don't know if he's really going to fight in the UFC. He's going to be more heavy dependent or wrestling dependent and then strike. Probably Vallejos. Is Diego Lopez done? Why would it be done? Who would you have in Rafi versus Max? Max. Pressure, output. Yeah. Tough first round, though. Max, though. Who would I have in Jacoby Smith? Gilbert Burns? Probably Smith right now, but Burns is a veteran and could be a live dog. If Piper had proper boxing coach, he can be champ by just KOing people. I don't think that would work to be a champion. Who would you have in Ateba versus RDR? Ateba hits hard. So, Crimson Chin, yeah. You got Diego over Gene then? No. Who would you have in Ming versus Yuri? Probably Ming. He hits hard. Drew Dober got a fight? No. Who would you have in Aspinall versus Prime Stipe? Prime Stipe, he was able to eat a shitload of punches. He took all of Ngannou's best in the first fight. I'm going to say Prime Stipe. What happened to Reach Franklin, teacher turned fighter? He got KO'd by Kung Lee and then retired. Now he's the ONE FC president. Who would you have in Cop versus Pantoja? Pantoja grappling. Who would you have in Talbot versus Sugar? Probably Sugar, but I want Talbot. Who would you have in Gene versus Max at 55? Max. Anderson broke his nose. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Anderson 16 wins in a row. Yep. Yep. Who'd you have in Armin versus Patty? Probably Patty. Anderson nuked Bonner. Yeah, unfortunately. Who'd you have in Prates versus Buckley? Prates. Prates. Straight left, right down the pipe. Hurts him with a knee and then straight left. As Buckley's coming in. Who would you have in Piper? Rodolfo Vieira? Piper. Too much power. But I would root for Vieira. Submission, choke him out, put him to sleep. Who do you have in Poatan versus Aspinall at heavyweight? Probably Aspinall because I'm worried he gets the takedown early. But I would root for Poatan. If Poatan could defend the takedown, Poatan. Who would you have in Tatsuro versus KKF? Oh, that's not even a hard fight. Not even competitive. When you hear the UFC is going to Singapore, what do you imagine Singapore is like? A crowd of people that's going to be respectful. I mean, just respectful people. Who would you have in Wallmaker versus Marab? Marab. I mean, he works too much. I think Wallmaker could make it fun, but who would you have in Lerone Murphy versus Yair Murphy? Singapore's normal? Yeah. Yeah, normal. Who do you think wins title run, Charles versus current Max? That's a tough fight because Charles probably would lean towards Max. Who would you have in BSD versus Ribovics? Ribovics. Who would you have in Shavkat versus JDM? Shavkat. I have a video on my channel saying he's a dark horse. Absolute dark horse for the division. This was a while ago. I think 2 years ago I said it. Who would you have in Ming versus Reyes? Ming hits really, really hard, but he was getting touched a little bit by Smith, and Reyes has power. So I'm going to say Reyes. When is your next collab with No Chill MMA? I don't know. Oh, we'll talk soon. Is the White House event going ahead, mate? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Dana said that they are doing the infrastructure. They're getting ready to build. Who would you have in Jalton Almeida versus Blades 2? Almeida. Get Blades out of the division. Get him out of here. Who would you have in Asakura versus KKF? Asakura. Asakura. KKF, I don't think it's that good. Though I was happy he finished. Cody Garbrandt. Ooh, who would you have at Umar versus Van? That fight would be a lot of fun. I'm going to go Umar. I'm going to go Jan, actually. Awesome. That's what I'm waiting for. Hell yeah. That's going to be fun. 100%. Who's you having, Gene versus Lerone Murphy? Probably Gene. But that fight could be weird if he gets past like round 3, round 2. That fight could be weird. Yeah, if you got past round 2, it could be weird. Lerone has good output. Who would you have in Sadikov versus Ruffy? Ruffy. Who would you feel more comfortable collabing with, local people in your county instead of No Chill MMA? No Chill. Yeah, he's got to get a break at some point, for sure. For sure. Who would you have in Bilal versus Gary? Gary. Gary. Worst IQ ever against JDM. Got the Canelo hands. Whatever. Who'd you have in RoboCop versus Piper? Piper hits really hard, so probably Piper. Brady, Usman. Usman. As long as we're talking about Kamara Usman. Who would you have in Ankalaev versus Poatan at heavyweight? Poatan. But I really appreciate you guys being here. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I will be live again tomorrow, a little bit earlier, probably about 12:20, 12:30. I appreciate you. Who would you have in Pantoja versus Marab? Pantoja. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I meant Ankalaev versus Tom at heavyweight. Tom shadows Ankalaev. But I appreciate you. As always, stay safe. See you tomorrow. Hamza can make 170 if I, yes. I think he's better at 70 than 85, but my opinion.